One problem I've always had with this boat is it sits too far back. I can't get it to sit forward enough to go into this pocket. And when I go to load it, I'll have, this will be down here, and I'll have it right there. This will be down here. But then when I go to pull on it, then it moves back, and it'll just break this. I broke one of these once. I'm surprised I didn't break this. I broke that. But, the boat ramp is pretty steep. It floats pretty easily, but you figure the back end is floating more than the front end. So this is going to hit first. I'm thinking maybe this here is too tall. Maybe this needs to be shorter. But I don't know, because I'm not really a boat expert. I made these longer, and see, they don't do anything. But that's all right. That doesn't hurt anything. And I made these new, so I thought, well, maybe the old bunks are curved in such a way it just can't sit. You can't. I was thinking if I I'm going to jack up this keel, which I've already jacked up that keel, and then I'll jack up the boat itself a little bit, and then maybe I can scooch the whole trailer back. I'll support the boat off the ground and scooch the trailer back, but that doesn't really solve the problem for the next time I'm loading the boat. You know what I mean? So I decided I'm gonna jack the boat up where it's sitting, lift it up off the trailer just an inch, and then move the trailer to get it positioned correctly, just for the winter, not as a permanent solution, although it may lead to a permanent solution. So at first I thought, well, I'll buy these bottle jacks. Bottle jack, 3 or 4 of those, and but that would cost $60 for 3, and plus I'd have to use blocks and stuff because they're not very big. And then there's Lowe's, you can get a basement jack, which I drew a quick picture of, which is a pipe, and then with a bolt in the top, and then as you unscrew the bolt, it lifts. That would be ideal, and you can get them in just the right height, which is 21 inches, but they cost $30 a piece. And then I thought, well, at least the right height for 2, then the front needs to be actually shorter. So then I thought, well, why can't I make my own, since it's just a bolt? And so I like to, so I went ahead and bought some bolts, and I got washers. So what I decided I would do is I bought this. This might not be the smartest way to do it, but I bought a carriage bolt, so it will sit on the concrete and rotate like that as I screw it. And we'll see how that works. There might have been a better way to do that, but anyway. Oh, I put the washer on the wrong side. So what will happen is, what my plan is, that I will run this bolt all the way up. Or run this nut all the way down, whichever way you want to look at it. Pretty much to there, and then put the washer on. And then what I'll do is drill a hole in a 2x4 and have the 2x4 extend out. Now I got this length here so that when it's inside the 2x4 it won't tend to jump. In other words, if you didn't have that length and you just set it on the 2x4, set a 2x4 on like that, it would just hinge over. There would be nothing to keep it from hinging. So this holds that 2x4 in line. Then I thought, well, there's another way to do it. See, in order to drill this length of a hole in 2x4 is a little bit tricky to get it straight. I thought, well, and I've got enough little 2x4s around. Of course, they don't cost very much. Another way to do it is to route grooves in the 2x4, and so the bolt would fit in here. Kind of hard to there, and then put the 2x4s together, so that you would end up with a 4x4 with a hole in it like this. So I thought, well, I like to draw something up too. I got my measurements here. So I went out and measured, so I need 21 inches overall. So I got 2 inches on the bottom for the bolt part, and then 6 inches for the slot, and then another 11.5 beyond the slot, and then 1.5 inches for a top beam. So you want to have your measurements when you go to cut. A lot of guys do it in their heads, but I like to draw it out. So and I thought, one reason I thought too, I think I'll try and do it this way. It's be a little stronger, but also give me a chance to use my router. Now there's another way to do it besides using a router, and that's to use a circular saw and set the depth shallow and just cut your grooves in your 2x4. And really you'd end up with, and then you make multiple cuts, and you'd end up with a square instead of this round, but really it wouldn't matter, I don't guess. I got one of the short ones done. The washer's not there. We'll have a washer, and then as you twist, it'll sit like this, and then as you twist this nut, holding this one from moving, this will move up, and somewhat inexorably, you might say. So here's the way I'm doing it. I make my 2 marks where I want. This isn't necessarily the best way to do it, but I'm just doing a short production run. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, so I gotta run in like this, make my 2 lines like this, and of course the width of the 2x4 will affect the width of this. This one's a little narrower, so I went over my marks, made them a little fatter. These are wider, so this is what it's really set for. And then I went ahead and I got a little circular saw, went ahead and made a couple grooves to help guide the router, because the router tends to want to wobble, and then went ahead and routed it, and then screwed the 2 together like this, and do 2 on this side and then 2 on this side, and I'll show you my router. I happen to find the exact right. I don't even know where the rest. I haven't used that router in so long. I don't even know where the rest of the bits are. I've got a bunch of bits. I also have a router table in a different location, but you gotta just kind of do the best you can with what you have, where you have it. Especially if you're like me, you don't have a regular shop. So there's my little saw that I used, and there's my router with there's the router, and I just happen to have that exactly the right bit in there. Otherwise I probably would have just made grooves with the saw, kept making grooves with the saw. That's got the tungsten So about halfway through a project, I usually test my theory, and so this is kind of what I had planned to do, and I was thinking this board's a little bit curved, and I was thinking it might fit the curve of this boat, but the boat's curved a little more, so probably it wouldn't be ideal. But what I'm thinking about now is that normally when you do a jack, you'll have a base, and then the point will be on the top, and you jack straight up. Well, of course, so I've got it kind of reversed, which is okay if I have the base on the boat. I think part of the reason is because the boat's curved, so you don't jack straight down, you're going to curve a little. So that's okay, but what I'm thinking about now is this thing's going to be free to hinge in every direction from the bottom, and with this width of that 2x4 is not enough. The boat's not going to probably move this way, but it could move this way with this. So I'm rethinking. I think I'll wait a day. So on the front, I'm making a form that's about the shape of that hull. And of course, here's my things. They look rather short. Looks like I could have made them longer. But I think what I might do in the front, what I was thinking about was making, see if I make a solid thing, then I could still have my point if it's fastened on, backed up, and I can pull it into the pocket thing. It's moving. I've seen boats where it's not jacked up and you can pull it into the pocket. Believe me. So I've got it jacked up and I can pull it into the pocket now. I'm actually pushing the trailer back. The trailer's actually moving back. Boat's jacked up. It still isn't moving very easily. It's been more difficult than I imagined. And there's my apparatus. I decided to put that. Oh, I see the problem now. I moved this. I readjusted these things to be more close to the bottom of the boat, and now it's hitting. To be more close to the center of the boat, I mean, because it wasn't. I had them out at the end, and it wasn't working very well. Boat jacked up, although it's still touching in the center bunks, but its weight is off enough that I'm going to be able to draw it in now. This will be the first time, I think. Yeah, see, there it goes. I could possibly. It helps to have this wood under here because then I don't have to hold this nut down here that it's stuck in that wood good enough. It doesn't turn. I figure I'm lifting about 250 pounds with each one of these, which really shouldn't be that bad. But it hasn't been as easy as I thought it would be. And I'm not sure why it seems like it's sticking more on this lift on the left side, off more than the right. This side here. Oh. So I got the keel pump. Now see, it looks like it's sitting on this side more, because I was just looking on the other side and it was completely off.
See, I can see, I don't know if you, it's almost completely off. Well, it's sitting right here. You can see it move independently of the trailer. It just does not want to sit in that pocket. Is it hit? It can't be hitting again, can it? It's not hitting anything there. It's not hitting anything there. Those aren't hitting. Step a little more. I'll tell you, if it doesn't go this time, I think I'm going to have to. See, it's not really going. I'm just lifting up I'm just bending the trailer.
Okay, see, I got it in. I got it in the pocket. It's tight right there. And here's the thing of it. It's kind of, I think it's off the front. And see, it's way up. It's way up on the back. I still got the back jacked way up. So when I set that back down, it's going to rotate, come out of this pocket. And it'll bust this if I don't loosen it. So I'm going to loosen it. I'm going to have to think on it some more. I think I figured it out. I think that keel, that little hydraulic jack, had settled and let the keel sit in the pocket, sit in its pocket. And so now, although there's still the question about when I set it down, but see, now I'm loose here and I'm in the pocket. So I think that's what it was. The keel wasn't down, but I still gotta lower it. And if when I lower it, but in theory I lower it straight down, it should be all right. Here's what else I can do. I'll lower that keel first into its pocket. Once that keel sits in its pocket, can you see it? Once that keel sits in its pocket, it ain't hardly gonna go anywhere. So it's in the pocket now. One trick I could have utilized more is this lowering and tilting the trailer with that. So now I've tilted it forward. I took the forward ones out, tilted it forward, and the back ones, so I already had them cranked down, but they were still stuck, so they fell out. As you can see, I come out of the still loose. See, I can crank it in now. In fact, that dropped it the rest of the way. But anyway, so that's closer than I've ever had it before.